ASMR 82. How you doing? This video is part 2 of the series that I'm doing, and I'm doing Google Earth maps and focusing this time on Europe. And in the last episode I did Scandinavia. We had a good look at Iceland, the Faroe Islands, Norway, Sweden, and lastly Denmark. This time we're gonna have a look at the United Kingdom and the Republic of Ireland. Okay, I hope you enjoy the video. If you want to see the first part, I'll try and put a link to it now. But before we go on to the video, I'd really like you to press like and then subscribe, and don't forget to comment on the video, because I absolutely adore reading your comments and I always answer them as well. Okay, let's go. Now, if you are not from my channel, you may not realise that I'm from the UK, and the reason my channel's name is Welsh ASMR 82 is because I'm from Wales, funnily enough. But let's start off with London. I've already done a video on London before using a world atlas, but this time we're going to use the Google Maps. Okay, let's take a closer look. London, as you can see, is massive. A couple of famous places you might have heard of: Wembley, where Wembley Football Stadium is; Twickenham, where the Twickenham Rugby Stadium is. But let's take a closer look at the centre of London. And of course, London is not just the capital of England, but of the UK as a whole. And I don't live too far away, so I get to visit. And if you haven't been, do try and make the trip. It is worth it. It's a very nice old-fashioned city. Lots of rickety roads, little alleyways. It's not got these big boulevards like Paris. So lots of you may have heard of Hyde Park. So let's take a closer look at Hyde Park. Hyde Park. Huge green space, home to Diana Memorial Fountain, with boating and swimming in the Serpentine Lake. The Princess Diana Memorial Fountain was completed in 2004 in Cornish granite, with a design said to represent Diana's life. circle, is it? There's a thicker end over here. I wonder in what way does it represent her life? The Royal Albert Hall. One of Britain's great Victorian splendours. Most famous for the Proms Classical Music Festival. Kensington Palace. Royal Palace and Gardens, with exhibits on former residents like Queen Victoria and Princess Diana. Paddington. Famous for Paddington Bear. Century station with a Brunel statue. Express train links to Heathrow Airport and the West. This is where I catch trains home to Wales. Let's zoom out for a minute. So if you've been as a tourist, then you're probably more familiar with Westminster. Westminster Cathedral, red and white striped Victorian cathedral in Byzantine style, with gold mosaics and marble interior. Very grand. Of course, you need to know where McDonald's is. The Little Ben. I'm looking for the Big Ben. But at least I found Wagamama's. Embassy of the Republic of Korea. Hanguk. Let's have a little look at somewhere you might have heard of. It says Buckingham Palace. Buckingham Palace. Visitors can tour the palace's opulent, private and state rooms, or watch the changing of the guard. On the last video that I did, I showed you the Royal Palace in Copenhagen, and I spoke to you about the changing of the guard there, which I saw when I went to visit. So check that video out if you're interested in seeing that. Come to think of it, I also showed you the Swedish Royal Palace too. So that is the Royal Palace. And the Mall is here. St. James's Park is just here. is a 16-storey Gothic clock tower and national symbol at the eastern end of the Houses of Parliament. This is quite a busy area, particularly for tourists, because you've got a lot of things in a really small area. You've got the London Dungeon, then Big Ben, Westminster Abbey, Protestant Abbey hosting daily services and every English and British coronation since 1066. And over here, well, actually, I showed you Big Ben, and this is the Palace of Westminster, which you will know as the Houses of Parliament. But originally it was actually a palace, and it's crumbling. So it's having quite a lot of renovation work. Big Ben is out of order at the moment, and I think they did something to make it work for New Year's Eve, because we always listen on TV to Big Ben chiming, and that's how we know it's the new year officially. And then the fireworks go off over here, because just up from the Sea Life Centre and the London Dungeon is the London Eye. What's that word? Catchy title of the Coca-Cola London Eye. Never even realised it was Coca-Cola. Huge observation wheel, giving passengers a privileged bird's eye view of the city's landmarks, which is absolutely correct, because look how close it is to these places. And another place I saw, and I'd like to draw your attention to, is London Tate. Have I gone past it? The Tate Museum is around here somewhere. I've lost it. I always pass it when you walk down the river here. Ah, there you are. Tate Britain, imposing gallery with historic and contemporary British art, notable for its J.M.W. Turner collection. And then this area is Vauxhall. Vauxhall Pleasure Gardens. The oval where the cricket is played. And the US Embassy. And a cheeky Sainsbury's as well. Vauxhall is where MI5 is, but I can't see it. Battersea Power Station. Obsolete riverside Victorian power station, soon to house luxury flats, shops and entertainment. When you go down a river cruise of the River Thames, you see it, and it's quite impressive to look at, actually. Right, I'm straying away from the centre here. We'll just do a couple more places in London, and then I want to show you some of the rest of the UK. The Shard, 87-floor glass skyscraper with a jagged peak, with restaurants, offices, hotel and viewing platform. Okay. Canary Wharf is down here. And the O2 is here. Arena hosting concerts from the world's top stars and elite sporting events for up to 20,000 fans. You can also have a walk across the top of it. It looks terrifying. Okay. And that, by the way, is Greenwich. i.e. Greenwich Mean Time. Okay, let's zoom out. So other places you would have heard of, probably Brighton, Canterbury, Oxford and Cambridge. Bristol, Liverpool, Leeds. Let's take a look at Wales. Let's go to Cardiff. Cardiff is the capital city of Wales, and we love rugby. And we love singing, and we have one of the best arenas, maybe concert halls, for events. This is the Wales Millennium Centre. I went to watch My Fair Lady in this theatre. Major modern culture venue staging theatre, opera, ballet and music shows with bars and dining. But no visit to Cardiff would be complete without the football stadium, Cardiff City Stadium, modern home to professional football club Cardiff City, hosting matches July to May, plus other events. Very importantly, Principality, which used to be called the Millennium Stadium, built for the Millennium in 2000. Riverside, home of Welsh Rugby Union, plus football, speedway and concerts, with daily tours. It's really impressive inside, I have to say. Oh, look at that. The Ospreys are from Swansea, where I am. And this looks like the Cardiff Blues. This is the International Sports Village. I think we helped out with the Olympics in London. So we've got there the International Whitewater, I assume, rafting track. Yeah, look at that. And the Cardiff International Pool. My favourite place as a child was definitely Techniquest. We used to have school trips, described as a family-friendly attraction that aims to teach people about science and motivate them to learn more. Definitely did that. It's one of those places that you go in and there are lots of science sort of games and activities. It's really fun for kids, very hands-on. Oh yeah, hands-on science. There's a dragon, of course, the symbol of Wales, and it's on our national flag. Yes, very fond memories of childhood trips with the school. But enough about Cardiff, let's have a look at Swansea. Not that I'm competitive or anything. This, ladies and gentlemen, is where I call home. So you've got Swansea Bay, and it seems we've talked a lot about stadiums. This is where Swansea City Football Club play, in the Liberty Stadium, home to Swansea City FC and Ospreys rugby team, seating 20,500 with a conference and events centre. I grew up in which is Welsh for lovely hill. There are lots of hills, and you can see how green it is as well. Guesses on how to pronounce this, guys. Pentrechuith. Pentrechuith. Spent quite a lot of money on the docks. Let me take you there. I do like the National Waterfront Museum. Modern displays and interactive technology tell the story of industry and innovation in Wales. So, talking about school trips, this is where I used to take my pupils rather than be taken, because it's relatively new. More dragons. These are the tugboats outside in the dock, and then this is the tallest building that we have in Swansea. We only have one, or maybe two or three high-rise buildings, but if you live in a big city with flats, this is the tallest building that we have, and you can see it from practically everywhere in Swansea, over the correct side of the hill. When I say hill, I possibly mean mountain. Let me show you. Because Swansea is on the coast, but there's this massive big hill. No, that's not what I was expecting. Ooh, 3D. So the hill or mountain comes up and then goes down to the coastline. Look how green it is. Let me take you to the university. So this is Swansea University. If you imagine sitting in the main halls here where the canteen is, looking out onto the bay. The tide's out in this photo, but it comes up as close as here. This is the Glyndŵr building. And this is the Taliesin arts venue, staging live theatre, dance and music performances with spacious cinema and art gallery. And the best place for a university is next to a hospital. Actually, all this bit is new here. That wasn't there when I was there. Let's see if I can get a view. So that's where the canteen is, and you look out of these windows, and the view you get is amazing. Anyway. Okay. Let's zoom up to Scotland. Now, I have a confession. It's Birmingham, by the way. And Sheffield. I have never been to Scotland. The most north I've been is up here in Yorkshire. The Isle of Man is over here. And this is Scotland. Now, I'm going to take you to Edinburgh. And this is a learning experience for me too, because I've not been. This is the Palace of Holyrood House, which is a 16th century palace on the Stuarts, with tours of royal reception rooms, antiques and relics. The University of Edinburgh is a university with many prominent buildings and renowned as the centre of Scottish law and medicine. Oh, wow. That is pretty. Why have I never been again? Lots of golf clubs. That's what I was looking for. Edinburgh Castle. An 11th century castle and barracks housing the Crown Jewels and National War Museum of Scotland. The architecture is just amazing, isn't it? Wow. Scott Monument. Oh my goodness. Spire-like Victorian memorial in honour of the writer Sir Walter Scott, with 287 steps to the top. Some hall is an art gallery apparently. The King's Theatre. Traditional theatre and bar hosting mainstream touring plays, NTS productions, ballet and pantomime. I wish I had more time. I'll have to do a more dedicated video to Scotland and to Edinburgh in particular. But for the moment, I think we best head over to Belfast. Okay, let's zoom out. So I have been to Belfast, although it was more of a boozy weekend than an actual cultural one. Oh, the Titanic Belfast is about the actual ship, the Titanic. Wow. That is stunning. Love a good castle, me. Belfast Castle. Castle within Country Park with adventure playground, visitor centre, antique shop and restaurant. Oh my goodness, look at that view. You wouldn't mind that every morning, would you? Well, definitely I wouldn't. This is more. I was thinking, I don't know any of these places. I must have spent more time up here. Belfast Zoo. Zoo with a walk-through rainforest house that is active in wildlife conservation and breeding. I really enjoyed it here. You know, you go to some zoos and you think, oh god, I feel guilty. It wasn't one of those. Oh, nice big lion. This big bear. Giraffe. Elephants. Oh, my favourite. I love tigers. So I do want to spend more time in Belfast, but I can't do this video without showing you. Oh, let's look at this photo. That looks impressive. Without showing you something a little bit north of here. Queen's University, Belfast. University with Tudor-style main building, known for its humanities, science and medicine programs. I'm more a man of the arts myself. as well. I do, some of the place names sound really familiar to me. Okay, I'm lost. Look how close it is to Scotland. Okay, I just checked and I got close. Close minutes ago. Giant's Causeway. Basalt columns jut upwards out of the sea at this iconic landform with a modern visitor centre. It is amazing, really. The day I went, it was absolutely freezing. Look at the shape of each rock. Just amazing. Okay. And I'm gonna conclude my trip of the area around here. Is it British Isles? Is that the right term? We'll venture outside of the UK and we'll go to Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, and we'll go to Dublin. No visit should be complete without a trip to Temple Bar, where you too can enjoy a round of 5 drinks costing you €30. Irish and international craft beer in a legendary venue with Temple Bar's only licensed garden. That was a true story, folks. Trinity College Dublin, 47-acre university with Georgian buildings, known for its humanities, science and medical programs. I prefer the arts myself. The National Museum of Ireland, decorative arts and history. Irish haute couture. collections alongside exhibitions exploring Irish military history. The Guinness Storehouse. Now, the view from the top is amazing. Brewery experience telling the tale of Ireland's famous beer, with tastings and a rooftop bar. See if they got a picture. The view is actually a weirdly, I mean I don't drink Guinness, but it's a weirdly good museum, if that's what you want to call it. See what I mean? Ah, look at that. That's pretty. How uncultured of me to show you Temple Bar and the Guinness Storehouse in Dublin. Let's do something a bit more upper classery. The National Gallery of Ireland. A grand collection of European art spanning the 14th to the 20th century, covering all major schools. St. Patrick's is gone. St. Patrick's Cathedral, the Church of Ireland's national cathedral, dating from 1220, with lunchtime musical recitals. Suppose I may as well take you to the Aviva Stadium. As a Welshman, I'm not a fan. It's beautiful and everything, but we often lose. Large stadium with an unusual glass end, used for international sports and occasional concerts. If I could find it, it is nothing in comparison to the other one. No, not that one. Oh, that where Leinster plays. Large stadium, home of Leinster Rugby, also hosting concerts and the annual Dublin Horse Show. Leisure Centre. Is it called Croke Park? Is that what I'm looking for? Did I go to the zoo? I always end up going to zoos. Dublin Zoo, the largest zoo in Ireland, has African plain, fringes of the Arctic and Asian forests exhibits. Whiskey Museum. National Wax Museum Plus. Family museum containing hundreds of wax versions of famous Irish and international personalities. It's a pretty building. Oh, a spa. Okay, I had a little look. I cheated. I was looking the wrong side of the river. Crook Park. See it straight away then. Wow. Ireland's biggest stadium and bastion for Gaelic sports, hosting GAA events from April to September. We'll take a look at this and then we'll finish the video. I don't know what it is. I find really big sports stadiums really interesting and attractive. When we do Spain, I'll show you the Real Madrid and Barcelona football stadiums as well, and Salam in Bilbao, which is also really good. Okay, so I think we're going to call it quits there. Apologies, I didn't have time to look at the Isle of Man or Jersey, Guernsey, etc. So, tune in next time for part 3 of our Google Earth tour around, in this case, Europe. If you haven't subscribed already, click subscribe for me, like the video, drop me a comment, and in a second I'll share a video explaining how you can check out my Patreon, Tingles, and Instagram, and all that info is in the info box below. Okay, hope you enjoyed the video, and check out part 1 as well, and depending on when you're watching this, check out part 3, maybe it's out by now, and I hope you're either fast asleep or you're digging the videos and you check out more on my channel. Either way, that makes me really happy. So, that's what I thought. Have a good night. Ta-da. Bye-bye. So before I go, I'm just going to say a massive big thank you to my Patreon supporters. And they are Natalie, Kira and Salam currently. I'd love you to join them. So if you are interested in supporting me via Patreon, then just click in the info box below and I've left a link for you. I've changed my tier system so that you can be a supporter from as little as $1 a month, which might not be much to you, but to me that would be absolutely amazing. And with their support so far, it's one of the reasons that I've been able to go out and improve the channel by buying this little new toy of mine. Alternatively, there's another link on there to the Tingles app, and you can choose to support me by just watching my videos, which gives me a little something every time you do, by supporting me on that platform, which is similar to Patreon, and also by giving me a little tip is hugely appreciated and makes me incredibly happy. So you can choose to do that. Alternatively, just make sure you've subscribed, that you like the video, and please, please, please give me a comment, because it is the highlight of my day to read your comments and to respond to them, and I always try to respond to every single message I get. So keep them coming. Okay, speak to you soon. Bye. Thank you for subscribing, commenting, and liking my videos. It really means so much to me. A special thank you to my supporters on Patreon. The link is in the description box if you want to join them. Also, now you can support me by just watching me on Tingles. Click the link in the description box. Diolch.